Oi, what's up, boys and grots and little snots? And can't forget the digger knobs. We's taking over this time.
Walker's workshop.
First appearing way back in the late 90s, the Red Gobbo was the leader of a band of rebel grots in the game Gorkamorka. This Gretchen Revolutionary Committee, aka GRC, or just the Committee, strove to overthrow their oppressors, the Orcs, in a military coup called the Revolution. The mechs recently introduced the tag system on Gorkamorka, whereby you can only get on board the Space Hulk once construction is completed. When the big wah starts, if you have a tag, unfortunately grots don't get tags. Due to this unfair treatment, the GRC was formed, and soon a full-scale revolution was begun amongst the grots in Mechtown. The Red Gobbo is the figurehead of the whole revolutionary movement. Although he concerns himself with the revolution as a whole, it is not uncommon for him to get out and do a bit of dirty work himself. While the actual position of the Red Gobbo may change hands, part of the seat of power is the trusty custom slugger and club-like sceptre of authority, which all Red Gobbos have carried since the GRC was founded. These were supposedly wrestled from the bloodied hands of the Orc oppressors during the Strike Day massacre, and have been treasured artifacts ever since. He is known to wear a red overcoat to show his support for the revolution. Ho ho ho, Merry Grotmas everybody, this is G, and today we have a special unboxing. Christmas came early, or is it late? Well, here we have the Red Gobbo, the leader of the revolution. So here we have a unboxing for this guy. He came out 2019 around Christmas, December. So this is obviously a little bit late. I managed to get my hands on a second one. I'll just show you the art, which is pretty sick. Balls. Christmas balls. Got a close-up of his face. You got the Citadel suggested paint scheme. You got him turned slightly to the left, to the right. You have all the legalities. You have the top, the bottom, side and side. But you're not here to see that really, are you? Let's open this little guy up. Look at this. Comes in a nice little tray, so he's secure in there and doesn't jump around. Let's pull him out without. Alright, so you get his base. The Red Gobbo. Guess I better open this up and show you guys what's inside. Step 1. You put part 1 and 2 together. Part 1 is his feet and legs. Part 2 is his torso. Both of his arms are connected. Then it says to put part 4, which is his cloak or coat. So you put that over the top of his face. Part 2, you get piece number 5, which is his face. You get piece number 1, which is now all of these parts that you put together. You put obviously the face onto with the neck area, and you get the third piece, which is a TNT. Now you put that on the back into a pocket, which the pocket's attached to the dynamite. So you put that in the back part to make his pocket with the dynamite. Now he's got a scenic base, which is the third part of the instructions. Part number 8, 7 and 6. So it's crates with dynamites inside. Now you have to put 6 over the top of 8, but there's actually grenades in here, so that actually covers up all of that, which is a bit silly really, because it's all of that detail and all of those grenades are going to be covered. And then you get part 7, which is a huge Santa sack, and that basically goes at the back of the crates, and then you put it all onto your 32mm base. As I said, it's a little bit unfortunate that there's so much detail to the grenades that are just going to be covered up. Part 4, now he's assembled. On both of these crates you have a little notch or a little groove for his feet to go on top of. So you get 2, 3, and now you've got your complete Red Gobbo, leader of the revolution. Now on the back you get Citadel's paint system. Basically all the stars, they have a dark yellow, a lighter yellow, or they shade it after you put the dark, and then a lighter layer over the top with a small layer highlight of the white. Now for the red parts, which is his hat and his Santa coat. You get obviously a dark for the base, you shade it again, then you have 2 layers this time, which I guess you get that time, but it's 2 of the same colour. So you get a red and then a really bright red, almost an orange type red for the highlights. Then you get the same base shade, and then you get 1 layer this time for all the white parts, which you can see is the top of his hat, and obviously the fur parts, the little snowball type part at the end, his beard, and it's the white for inside his coat. And for the last part, which is his boots, you get a black base. You get 2 layers, which are basically greys, a bluey black and a bluey grey, and then you edge highlight that with blue horror. And yeah, basically for some strange reason they don't do the ball, the light, the wood, the green here. They don't show you how to, or advise you how to do the gun, because there's no silver. Nothing for the crates, nothing for the base, and so on. A pair of plastic cutters is required to remove the plastic components in this kit from the frame. We advise using a mould line scraping tool to clean up the parts. To assemble your model, you will need plastic glue. Now I'll show you the actual frame or sprue of the Red Gobbo. So where should we start? Here's his body. Really nice details. I like how this is a different material from the furry cuffs and the inside of the coat. He's got an awesome big slugger. Instead of his scepter, he has obviously Christmas theme. So he has his scepter, which is normally a club with skulls on it. It's basically a top of a Christmas tree. It's got the wooden part, or the wood from the tree, the leaves. It's got some decoration, and then obviously plonk him on top of the tree, you got the star. It's a little bit personal right there. You got his awesome face. Now, his face is absolutely amazing, really. Now, it's really detailed for such a small, there's a nail compared to it, it's tiny. But you got the beard, which is nicely sculpted. You have his teeth with a couple knocked out, or maybe he had to fund something. You got his goggles, an earring, or two. One's a piece of decoration, really. You got the revolution symbol. You have the Christmas Santa hat with the little snowball pom-pom on the back. And while we're here, we'll look at the coat. Now, that's yet again really well sculpted. Texture of the fluffy inside. Got the ammo rack, and you got the revolution little star icon or symbol. So you've got the front that goes over the top of that part of his coat, and you have his little legs and the dynamite stick that goes into the pocket that's attached to the coat, which you can see the indentation of where the dynamite stick and the pocket go. You got the scenic base, as mentioned before. All this lovely detail just goes to waste because you put the lid on top. The indentation of his foot, not to be mistaken with the dents on the crate, so his foot goes into that. So his feet have these little notches on them to slide on. Just like this. Battle damage or wear and tear, and a little slot for his foot to go on top. So obviously he's a small model and there's not too much work. You're obviously going to need to use clippers, get as close as to the model as you can, and clip him all apart. Now you'll have to clean up some mold lines or just flash or bits that are left over from the clipper. You won't get it perfect, so you will need a hobby knife or mold line possibly. But if you're a child or young, get someone to help you. You can see a bit of a mold line there, and there's not too much cleanup on him. You can see here and there some mold lines. But overall, it's an amazing model. Yeah, a little bit pricey, but isn't most G-dub stuff. Now, he's an amazing character. He was originally created for Gorka Morka, Da Revolution, the Grots. I never picked up the metal version. I always wanted him though, so that's why I've always loved this character, and I've always wanted Da Red Gobbo. So when I got back into the hobby last year, and it was creeping up to Christmas, he had quite a fun trailer. A lot of people don't like the Christmas theme, which I can understand because it's one style. It might not fit into armies, or people might just think it's a bit cheesy. But when I saw him, I just fell in love with him again all over, and I had to grab a copy. That's why I already have a copy. This is my second one for reviewing purposes. Now, he's not quite finished. The gun hasn't been finished, and there's bits and pieces that need to be cleaned up, and I haven't finished all of the parts that I want. Now, I changed the colour of the crates to be a bit more like Christmas presents. So that was a military. About the only thing they kept military is the crates, and then the whole Santa style. Now, I've committed myself to the Santa style. I started painting him around Christmas. Obviously jumped from project to project, so I never finished him. But I thought if I'm going to commit myself to the Santa idea, I may as well do the crates like presents. Now, I'm not sure if they show you the grenades on the back. So they done them, the frag grenades, obviously black with a grey highlight. Looks like there might be a gold one in there, but I decided to do them all gold to make them just a little bit more special. So yeah, it might not be heavy metal painted quality, but I wanted to do my grot quite bright, and yeah, still has work, as I say, but it was really enjoyable, and having something like this to paint in the festive season was quite cool. Everyone's getting into Christmas, and I'm having a little old merry old Grotmas myself. Now, like most of my stuff, you can actually pull him off. No, not that way. You can take him off the base. So I changed up the colour and just kind of did what I wanted anyway, but they do obviously different colour stuff. I wanted to add a bit more to the snow as well, which obviously needs to be cleaned up, so I just added a bit of blue here and there. Obviously there's a bit of paint that's gone into the wrong places, but I need to clean all of that up anyway. I'm going to add some snow texture to the base, just to add a bit more to it as well. But yeah, overall he's an amazing little miniature. We'll try and get in into focus just so you can see. I have actually added some lines around his upper lip, and if it wants to focus on his lower lip, just add a bit more texture to him. Still need to sort the nose. It looks a little bit like one of those fake clown noses. Need to add a little bit more green to that. But yeah, it's got a bit of cleanup, obviously. As I say, sort of got him to this point and jumped from project to project, so I never finished him. But yeah, he's an amazing miniature. He is easily the best grot they've ever made, character-wise and miniature-wise. The old metal one is still amazing to this day. Sorry, Makari. I'll let you shine in another video. I'll make it all about you, buddy. The lucky git. But this video is all about the leader of the revolution. I hope all your little snotlings have been good this year, because the Red Gobbo is always watching, even when you're sleeping, even when you're awake. You don't want to be on his bad list, otherwise you won't get your grenades or your DACA. So remember, when it gets to that time of the year, when it's 24th of December, make sure you go to bed early. You don't want to be hearing the rain squigs on the roof now, do you? If you're awake, you won't get your DACA. And help us fight our oppressors, the orcs. The Red Gobbo says so. Make sure you leave some fungus ale on the bench top for him, and maybe a nice treat for the rain squigs. And remember, if you're an extra good little grot this year, when you grow big and strong, you can join the revolution. So that's my review of the Red Gobbo. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, thanks for watching. Gthehypersapien out.